Hello and welcome to Paris Set Me Free mini photo tutorials. This shot was taken from the steps of Saint-Sulpice. Saint-Sulpice is the church which, apart from anything else, became very famous recently because it featured in the Da Vinci Code, the book, the Da Vinci Code, and for quite a while inside the church, next to the very tall, strange concrete structure which gets the sun shining on it through a little special lens in one of the windows and featured in the book. Next to it was an article or three saying something about the controversy, not particularly in favour of the book, I can tell you. It's not there anymore, so they're definitely playing it down. As you go in and out of the church, very often there's someone asking for money on the steps, almost a permanent feature in fact. But the thing is, it's difficult to get a good shot of them because you don't want to point a camera in their face, and you have to respect them. In this shot I've taken it from behind them as I was coming out of the church. This isn't the final shot. The final shot is this one. But you can see this is more the reality of what I had in front of me. It was tricky to line them up, though I wanted to get someone walking along here, but it didn't happen, not in the right way. I had this shot. Here's another attempt. Very blurred because the camera I was using, because my normal one is broken, is just not up to the task, so I wasn't doing very well. This is the one that I finally got, which I decided to play with. There isn't someone here, which could have been nicer, but in the end it's almost more appropriate because they're waiting. This was actually taken. I'm actually doing a theme called waiting at the moment, and indeed they are waiting, and there's nothing there. And what's more, in that space of nothing is in fact an amazing round pattern of these little square blocks which are often used in Paris, and it's so impressive. And if you look at the one that I've finished up with, so strong that it's almost like a whirlpool, and it makes my eyes go funny as I look at it. So in the end it didn't really worry me because they are the subject, this old woman with her little daughter here holding out her cup, waiting for someone to come along. And even on the steps of the church, very few people actually put any money in there. She's even got a shopping bag which is sort of acting as a sort of cushion, I think, as well. So a bit of a sad picture, really. You never know what to do as you go past these people. So many questions creep into your head as to their motives and whether they're really having a problem or if they're being manipulated by other people and they get the money's just taken from them. All sorts of thoughts go through your head, and people don't often dig into their pockets, or they give in other ways and they don't think that's the right way to do it. And yet there they are, human beings sitting on these cold steps in the rain. Photographically, this is the original. I decided to get rid of a bit of this grey, beigey, pale bit here and a bit on the bottom, so to push the edge of this photo closer to this pole and to get rid of this strip at the bottom, or part of it, to concentrate on this, to have these two figures with this as a kind of second frame, looking over onto this empty concrete whirlpool of grey little square stone slabs of marble or something, just waiting for someone to come along. A little hand out, even though there's no one there. And by sharpening it up a bit and slightly brightening it, it's made this effect even stronger. You can, when you have this sort of paving, you can emphasize it by squatting down a bit, and that makes the light, which is over here somewhere, shine more on the flat surfaces and even less in the little cracks between. So by squatting down, even on a day where there isn't any direct sunlight, if you squat down you can emphasize those cracks. I wasn't really able to squat down because I was actually on steps above them, but that's the principle. So there it is. a bit of a sad photo, but certainly one that fits in with the principle of what I do, which is trying to take photographs of every aspect of Paris, the ugly as well as the beautiful, and the sad as well as the joyful. And this photograph does it quite nicely. Even though it was rushed, I didn't want to be seen, and I didn't want to show them their faces necessarily either. And having said that, it's turned out quite well. There's a diagonal going here from the top of this pole, the edge of her head, her cup, hand, and the kid, down to the bottom right there. And they're completely surrounded by this uniform colour, with a kind of second frame of the steps and the edge of this wall, and this sea of uniform whirliness, which almost gives it the photograph an ominous, foreboding feeling, as though they could easily slip off the edge of these steps into this concrete, unforgiving mass and be swallowed up, and like water going down a drain and go zoop and disappear into the hole in the middle. And maybe that's what happens to some of these. Sometimes you get to know people, or at least you get to know who is at a certain point, and you don't realize it, but suddenly when they're not there anymore, it's like something's happened, and you wonder whatever happened to them. And some of these people get quite famous, actually, and that's one of their techniques. There was a program recently, and there was a guy in the Champs-Élysées, and it was his home, and he had all sorts of little places he could go to sleep. Sometimes he would get turned out of them, but sometimes the woman in the shop near where he sat in his wheelchair took pity on him and gave him a nice new jacket or something like this from time to time. So homeless people are very much part of the Parisian landscape. That's it for this time. Thanks for watching. You can see a good version of this on the blog at parissetmefree.blogspot.com. Thank you. See you next time. Bye bye.
Depuis que je suis à Paris, le jour et la nuit, je suis gris. J'ai compris la douceur de vivre. Je suis fou de joie, je suis ivre. Depuis que je suis à Paris.